Hi there guys, it's Dimitri here from Stop Start Reviews, and we've got
Mo with us today.
And today we're reviewing the BMW M140i Shadow Edition. Really? So that's what happens when you have a 3-litre engine in a small little hot hatch. Horsepower and torque, what is it, Mo?
Well, BMW claim it's 335 brake horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque, but in my experience, I haven't personally had my car dynoed, but quite a few people have, and they found that actually most of these cars are pushing around 350, 360.
That's a lot of torque actually from that as well. It's producing about 369 foot-pounds, if anyone wants to know what newton meters into torque is. 0 to 60 happens 4.6 seconds, which is quite fast. It surpasses a lot of its rivals, such as the Golf R and the Focus RS.
Well, no, it doesn't quite beat the Golf R.
No?
No, the Golf R's 4.2 from what I believe, but the reason this is slightly slower than the Golf R from a standing start is because the Golf R obviously has four-wheel drive. Yeah, this is rear-wheel drive, and you know, it's not as composed as the Golf R. You know, round corners and stuff, you can feel it getting a bit tail happy. But you know what? A classic straight six and a rear-wheel drive combination. I mean, you can't beat that.
It's pretty nuts.
It's fun. Yeah, it really is.
We're in Sport right now, so we've got 4 modes. So we've got Eco, Pro, Comfort, and Sport Plus. So let's put it into. Well, is it Sport now? Do you want to bump it up to Eco?
What? Eco?
Yeah.
Bump it up to Eco.
Well, bump it down to Eco.
Bump it down to Eco. Okay. Yeah. We're going to do some Eco driving because we care about the planet. I would say that it's a mode I never use. I'm using it today just to show it, but it's not a mode I would ever use. I actually find that the throttle response is far too muted, and on top of that, it can get you in awkward situations, especially if you're pulling out of a junction and you're on Eco, and you know you just need that little bit of extra power to pull out safely, and you don't get it. The car restricts you, and I find that to be dangerous. I'm not too sure about the trade-off. I haven't personally noticed much when I was using it. I tend to keep it in comfort, which is, if I switch to that now, you get a good balance between the performance. It's a bit like your Mini. You have a mid mode, don't you, in your Mini?
Yeah, the mid mode's absolutely fine. And yeah, with the Eco Pro on the Mini, it just feels really gutless. So I can assume it's kind of similar on this.
It does, yeah. It meets everything down. I mean, it's good in a pinch. If you're that few miles away from a petrol station, you really need to think about saving a bit of fuel. But to be honest, for what it's worth, staying in comfort is kind of the best of both worlds. You know, you whack it in Sport when you want a bit of fun. Sport Plus on a sunny, dry day where the tyres. Well, this car's fitted with Michelin Pilot Super Sports, which are really great tyres in the hot and dry. If you stick it into Sport Plus, which is not traction control fully off, it's partly off. Yeah, it's partly off. If you stick it on there on a wet road, you are going to get a bit tail happy, and depending where you are, things can go a bit south. It depends. I've had a tail kick out before, and I wasn't expecting it. I gained control of it again. It was fine, but I can see how that can get you in trouble in some situations.
I mean, we know it's a bit tail happy when you really put your foot down, but how is the handling on everyday driving?
It's definitely in between. Okay, I think out of all those hatches, I'm going to count the FK8 and the i30N, because the FK2 was, you know, you can't really compare it to the FK8 in the first place. So we'll just use the better of Honda's hot hatch manufacturers. And realistically, handling wise, the Type R trumps everything. It was composed.
Even better than this?
100%. You could floor that round a corner, and it wouldn't budge. It would be planted. I don't know what kind of witchcraft Honda were using, but it just seems planted on the road all the time.
Yeah.
This car is tail happy, but that's why you buy this car. Oh, there's another M140 up there. Yeah, that's the thing about this car is, you know, there are some good deals available at the moment. Finance options wise, this is on a PCP.
Yeah.
I believe the offer was 449, was it?
Yeah,
from BMW.
It's changed a lot, hasn't it, nowadays? Because bear in mind, this is kind of going to be the outgoing model. How's your fuel consumption been? Because it gets about 36 miles per gallon, and you drive it quite often anyway. Bear in mind, this is his actual personal car, so he's spec'd it the way he wants and everything. Also, the reason why I'm not driving, because I'm not insured to drive on it, because I'm 21 as well, so insurance is a killer here. So yeah, mine.
Well, I average around 28, and that is basically me mostly doing town driving, commuting to work. I travel all through. I don't travel any country roads or anything like that. I literally just traffic all the way to work, and all the way back from work as well. So I hit rush hour when I'm leaving. I hit rush hour when I come back. Generally, 25 to 28 is what I'll get on a run. It equates to around. I get roughly around 300 miles a tank.
I was going to ask, how's the stereo on the car?
Shadow Editions come with the Harman Kardon. They are pretty good. I had a BMW i8 before this car, and
you wrote it off.
I wrote it off. Anyway, the Harman Kardon on those were a lot better, but I've listened to the car when I went out for a test drive in this car. Shout out to Vine's BMW Red Hill for looking after me. But when I went out for a test drive, the car I went out in wasn't a Shadow Edition. It was actually a standard M140, and the standard speakers just didn't have anything in them, to be honest.
They're okay, I guess. After like low end, because they're the same ones on the Mini as well, roughly.
Yeah, I don't know if your Mini as well.
So.
You would have preferred. Obviously, you bought yours used.
Yeah, I would have preferred
you
the Harman
Kardon. You would have preferred to have the Harman Kardon.
Yeah. It just feels a bit more crisp at the higher end volume, and the bass isn't cracked. But
yeah, that's right. Obviously, automatic was an option for me. That's an option I chose. Obviously, ZF8 speed instead of the manual. When I was ordering mine, the manual was still there, available to order, but I opted for the ZF8 speed instead. You used to be able to get the manual. The manual is unfortunately a dying breed with BMW.
So now
you used to be able to get the 6-speed manual, which I haven't personally driven. I've seen other people's thoughts about it, and it is a fairly good manual. I've heard it's a bit notchy with the changes, but you know, it's a manual. You can't beat a good old manual.
Now you've got an 8-speed ZF transmission.
This is the ZF 8-speed. To be honest, mated with this engine, it works wonders. This has got the BMW B58
engine. Yeah.
You know, it's the same engine that they're using in the new Supra.
Yeah.
It's also been used in a few other vehicles. The new Z4, the M40i. That uses it. The X3 M40i, I believe, uses the B58 as well. So it's
a very popular engine.
I've got the Pro Nav. I wanted a bigger screen when I'm playing music and I'm navigating. It's fantastic. It's not an essential option, but it's one I'd worth considering if you're.
Well, sat nav nowadays is kind of a must-have.
Well, the standard one comes with the sat nav, but what the Pro Nav, you get that bigger screen, you get the online entertainment.
Which is actually quite good because you can play anything on diesel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a good. I mean, if you're strapped for data on your mobile phone package and you don't want to use it when you're driving, you can actually just use the online entertainment. It runs through the cards inside the SIM cards, and you can listen to music that way. Aside from that, I've got the adaptive LEDs, which are great. And again,
can you live with it though?
I can live without the adaptive. I can live without the adaptive. Not a key option at all. If you're looking to get one, adaptives a maybe. It's not essential. But what is essential, and I will say this: if you tick any option, go for the adaptive suspension. It is miles better than the standard suspension.
And that's what I was going to talk about. You've got this on this car?
I've got the adaptive on this one. Yes, I've got the adaptive M Sport suspension. It is miles ahead of the standard one. The ride is, look, this is a hot hatch. The ride's not going to be as smooth as a regular 1 Series. It is a bit firmer in all modes, but the adaptive suspension is so much better than what you get as standard. It's just so much better. I think it was just under £600 for what it's worth. Tick that option box. Oh, also I've got the electric seats, haven't I? I've got the memory seats, so I've got the electric seats.
Not mine.
And well, no, yours are electric as well.
Yeah, they're electric, but not memory.
They're not memory. Yeah. I've got the electric seats with memory and the lumbar support, which is fantastic. I have a preset save, so if I get a passenger back for a short journey and I need to quickly get them in, then what I will do is I'll let them in the back. I'll pull my seat forward. I can live with a bit of discomfort, but as soon as they go, I just set it, and it sets everything back to how I like it, which is one of the perks of this car as well.
What do you love about this car? The one thing you love about this car?
The one thing I love about this car, for me, the thing that I like most about this car is the comfort. Okay, you may find it weird, like, oh right, we're watching a review about a hot hatch and this guy's talking about comfort. Well, look, I've had the i30 and I've had the FK8 Type R. You know, I've had they're great hot hatches, and I've had Focus cars before. I've had the i8, but this car, it gives you everything. It gives you the speeds, it gives you performance, and it's a car you can just, you can take home at the end of the night and then take your family out the next day, and you won't feel guilty for buying it as the only car you're going to buy. It does serve multi-purpose, and I think you would agree with me, D.
One of the things I don't like about this car, and the one that kind of annoyed me, is the power shifters. They're so weird. Like, what the hell? Like, why are they half-baked paddle shifters?
Yeah, they're diddy, and
it's like, it's a BMW. It's a performance car. Give us proper paddle shifters. I don't care where it's mounted at this point, but just put full, like, not these half-cut paddle shifters, because they're really annoying. And then I think the other thing you were going to talk about, and I didn't talk about this on the Mini, I forgot to talk about, was the climate controls.
Yeah, that's for me, that's a real pain point. That is one thing I didn't actually know about this till I collected the car, and the sales executive dealt with me, brilliant guy, showed me through the controls and stuff. I didn't actually ask about the climate control because I thought that would be a stupid question. It's the smallest thing. But what it is this car is always in dual zone climate control. You can't change it so it syncs the driver's side. If I'm on here on my own and I want to set the temperature to what I want it to be, and I don't have a passenger with me, I have to change both dials. So I'm driving, I'll change one to I'll change one to 21 or 22. Then I have to go and do the other one because the other one's not syncing up. There's no sync button like on other BMWs.
The iDrive infotainment system is obviously one of the best in the business.
100%. It's of all the cars I've driven and owned, it is the most easy to use system, and by easy to use, a lot of systems are easy to use. What I mean is while you're driving. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm not saying like other systems are complicated. What I'm saying is that while you're driving, to operate the system is easy. Yeah, and you can get in any other car and you can try and use the system, but what really matters is this is a car. Yeah, and if you're going to be doing something, it's likelihood you're going to fall under it's going to be coming while you're driving the actual vehicle, and for me, how a car works when you're driving it is important, because that's what you're there to do in the car. You're there to drive the car.
Of course, yeah. And the good thing about iDrive as well is where it's positioned on almost every BMW now. I think all of them now. It's on the top of the dash, which is great because it's less of a distraction, so you're not looking down the console, which is quite good. So that's what I like about BMW in terms of that. And obviously, like we just mentioned, it's one of the best in the business. This is running iDrive 6, not 7, so it's not the latest one. It doesn't have the gesture controls either, but because you can't option it on in 1 Series. So, but you don't really need that either. And the rotary dial is just excellent. I have no issues with it. Yeah, with the ProNav as well, you get the dial's actually a little bit bigger. Yeah. So you can get instead of a smaller dial, you get a larger dial. You also get a touch-based system. You can actually draw letters and stuff. But yeah, that's all of it, I think, from me.
So, yeah, I mean, as a conclusion, what are your final thoughts and comments on the car?
I mean, it's a great car. I think for me, the only other gripe I have is probably the interior. The exterior looks nice. A couple of ways that you can tell the interior from the exterior. I mean, the exterior of the car. How do you know it's a BMW M140i? Is probably with the M140i badge at the back.
You can get them, obviously, with BMWs. You can choose the model designation deletion from factory, and then you wouldn't. And well, you can love it or hate it. I like the fact it doesn't look special because it's a bit of a sleeper.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot. You couldn't if that badge wasn't there on the back. You could hardly tell. I mean, the only way you could tell is from the wing mirrors and the
yeah, you've got the ferret grey on the Shadow Edition. You've got the wing mirror caps. I don't know if that's on the standard M140i. Did my homework. You've got the kind of grey inserts around the front here, near where the fog lights would have been. This one doesn't actually have fog lights, and also the grills at the front, the kidney grills. They are jet black and they're not surrounded by chrome on the Shadow Edition, so they're just literally blacked out and black around it as well. It's part of the Shadow Edition upgrades. But anyway, great car, super livable, and just generally a bit of fun, you know. And if price is a thing as well, the money that you do save choosing this over, for example, and it's not just the monthlies, it's literally the initial money you put down as well, isn't it, Dimitri?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can get a Golf R for 450 quid a month with what deposit though?
Exactly.
You know, what are you going to have to put down to do that? Because on this car, you give 450 and you got the car.
Yeah, it's quite good.
And it's not like Volkswagen are any less bad at options wise. You know, a lot of stuff are optionable on a VW, and I think, you know, you'll save a few quid going for this. Not fuel wise, obviously the Golfs are a bit more efficient, but the initial outlay of getting the car is a lot cheaper. And you know, a rear wheel drive 6-cylinder 3-litre engine, it's going to become a rare car. There's a lot of them on the road, but I mean, as a package, as in being able to buy a car like this, you won't be able to. I don't think so. Not with the new emissions and everything that's happening at the moment. With tighter regulations around this, I don't think you will be able to say in a couple of years' time, I want to go out and buy a 3-litre rear-wheel drive hot hatch. I just don't think they'll be there. They'll all be 4-pots.
And they're all going to be all-wheel drive if that happens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, that's it from us. Hopefully you'll catch us very soon with another video.
Thanks, guys. I mean, obviously we've got a few more cars in the pipeline.
Hopefully, yeah.
So hopefully, it depends if we're allowed to use them. That's another thing. But yeah, thanks for watching the review, guys. And thanks Dimitri for bringing me on the channel.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you'll be seeing a lot of Mo as well. Mo is doing the directing stuff as well, but you'll see a lot more of Mo as well now. Alright guys, that's it from us. Take care now. Bye bye.
Thanks guys.
Bye.